I thought Barack Obama hit the nail on the head when he talked about the type of white resentments that you will hear around dinner tables, but you will not hear in polite society.
Oh, absolutely.
Busing, where a white father will say to a white mother, why do we have to drive our child 10 miles past the kindergarten school, right down the street?
Right.
Quotas, crime. So let me ask you on the other side of it. Did he accurately describe black resentments that you may hear around dinner tables, but again, as Barack Obama said in the speech, you don't usually hear in polite society, though we may have heard it from Reverend Wright.
Oh, holy cow, he really did. I mean, I'm so staggered by the speech, it's hard for me to put everything into words. But I think by starting out explaining his own story, that he's in such a unique position as an African American and white American combined, who also never knew his African father that well and lived overseas, and he has such a global understanding of the world, and his own growing up experience was so unique. Yet the first long speech I heard Barack Obama give at the 2004 convention, when he spoke about the pain of being a black child who achieves and gets good grades and is told by other people that he's acting white, that grabbed me right in the heart, because we have to face these kind of bizarre conflicts as black Americans. If you achieve too much, sometimes within your own race you're thought of as somehow abandoning it, and within white culture you're thought of as somehow not being authentic. And there's so much that's talked about in groups, within groups, that doesn't get to be, a wider conversation. One of the other things that he said that so blew my mind, that I can personally attest to, is the resentment that some whites have about things they feel that black people have somehow gotten at their expense. I work with a volunteer program in New York called the 52nd Street Project, which works with at-risk kids in New York City, helping to give them arts in a lot of public schools where there aren't arts programs. And I have friends, white friends, who have been upset that their kids who go to better public schools don't get the same opportunities as these kids who don't get it's crazy, who want to know why their white children can't benefit from an after-school program like the 52nd Street Project. And I want to say, you're talking about families in your community where both parents are at home, where you guys have higher incomes,
right.
where,
well,
it's just...
I don't know that we want to start this debate, because I can tell you there are also the steel workers in Ohio or Pennsylvania,
sure,
in the same socioeconomic category.
Absolutely.
A white family next to a black family, and the white father, and I heard this on the campaign trail, a lot of white politicians hear this, say, you know what, I work next to this guy on the assembly line, I make the same amount of money, my kid studies, makes better grades than his kid, yet his kid is getting scholarship offers to the same schools where my kids aren't even admitted. I understand that. I understand why. I understand affirmative action. But when you talk about that, of course, there are these white resentments that have been built up in other communities.
Yeah.
And I think it's very telling that Barack Obama does extremely well in white communities, predominantly white communities. He does extremely well in predominantly black communities. But what we're learning thus far in this campaign is his bigger challenge is when you have racially mixed communities, working class communities,
absolutely,
where a lot of these issues start colliding.